Today I spent another few hours losing another 1,000 LP. And at this point, most people would just give up. Most people would say that's 2 no good, terrible days in a row. I'm going to take a break. But I'm a stubborn son of a bitch that doesn't know when to give up. And so every time I got knocked down, I got back up to bang my head against that fucking wall until I gave in or that wall gave in. Finally, though, under some extreme anger, pressure, anxiety, this lingering sense of fear, something knocked loose. And I learned a thing or two about myself. I finally feel like I prevailed, even if it was a little victory that came at what seems like a big cost of a bunch of virtual points that I spent so much time gathering. I feel like I won. I've talked a lot about how I have like a blank. I play my best when I have this blank mind, this blank stare, and I see every game as a blank canvas. You know, you put aside your prejudice, how you feel about these characters, these players, whoever the fuck you're playing against. You put that aside when you load into the game. That's when I play my best, but I'm unable to do it a lot of the time. A lot of the time, I just can't ignore how I feel. And that's usually where I leave it at. I say I was just sad that day. I was angry that day. I was depressed that day. I felt hopeless that day. I felt like all my potential had been used up and I wouldn't get any better that day. That this was it and I wanted to quit. But today I snapped because I couldn't get off that fucking game until I found an answer. I couldn't go a third day playing like this. I couldn't go on playing like this day after day, inconsistent mindset, and just being a completely different player every other day. I couldn't go on doing it, so I had to find my answer. And it came in the last game of the day. Zangief loaded up on the opposing side of the screen. What other character would you want to knock some damn sense into you than Zangief? And me and this guy are going back and forth. I'm playing some jury. We're going back and forth. And I'm playing terribly, guys. I'm playing like something that I don't even recognize if I went and watched the replay. I'm running away from him. I'm giving up the whole screen. I'm playing just out of fear. Just completely out of fear. Fear of losing, a fear of taking an SPD or a super, taking half my HP bar away. Fear. That's all that was I could think of. And he finally gets me to the corner. He's smashing stand heavy punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stand heavy punches go by. I'm blocking them all. I'm scared for my life at this point. I don't want to press anything, get crush counted. I don't want to do anything, I get crush counted. He dashes up. I think he SPDs me or something, and I lose the round. And I remember audibly yelling. I don't get like this very often, but audibly I yell in my chair, "What the fuck are you afraid of?" So the second round starts and things are happening on the screen. I have no idea what's going on the screen. My character's moving left and right. It's like I'm possessed at this point, and all I can think is, why am I afraid? You know, I'm dissecting these emotions in my head because, guys, at this point, I'm beyond anger. I'm beyond hopeless. I've given up. I don't even know why I'm still queuing at this point. And all I can do is dissect these emotions. So I'm sitting there and I say, well, I'm afraid of losing. Well, why am I afraid of losing? I'm afraid of losing my LP. I worked really hard for all those points. I spent a lot of hours in this game, and I feel like it owes me something. I feel like I'm owed something by this game because of how many hours I put in, which is a fallacy. We all know that, but we're not rational all the time. So that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking I'm afraid of taking damage because I'm going to lose. Well, what are the consequences of losing besides the points? Well, I'll feel bad. My ego will feel bad, and that gives me some anxiety. I don't want to feel worse than I already do. And then it all kind of fell into place. It all clicked in my head. I can't play this game with that blank state of mind that I need to, or seeing the game unprejudiced and seeing this blank canvas and all this nice stuff that I like to say. I can't do any of that if I don't suppress that sense of anxiety that leads to the fear. So I go even deeper. At this point, the Zangief is playing with himself. I don't know what he's doing. And I go deeper in my head and I say, well, when do I feel the anxiety? What is the pinpoint? What is the ignition for that anxiety? And to me, it's taking damage. When I take damage, I feel something. I talked about it before, how I was able to suppress it for a little bit, and it made me a lot better. But I don't know, it just came back up. I'm human, right? But now that I've identified it, I can work on it. I can really work on it. And in that same game with the Zangief, I zoned back in, and I win the second game. We go to a third one, and I lose by a pixel. But who gives a fuck? By the end of it, I felt like I'd gone through a whole journey in my head that led me to an answer that I was happy with. Wins or losses be damned. LP be damned. I found a fucking answer that I was happy with, and I got off the game. I didn't even think twice about it. I finally got off the game because I found a goddamn answer that I could live with. So that's what I'm going to spend tomorrow working on. It has nothing to do with the game. It has everything to do with me, but I think it'll still lead to great yields. That's all I got for you today. I Don't think this is what anybody wanted or what anybody asked for, but it's what I wanted to make today. So I made it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please let me know down in the comments below. And I'll talk to you again very soon.